History prefers legends to men. It prefers nobility to brutality. Soaring speeches to quiet deeds. History remembers the battle and forgets the blood. Whatever history remembers of me, if it remembers anything at all, it shall only be a fraction of the truth. For whatever else I am, a husband, a lawyer, a president, I shall always think of myself as a man who struggled against darkness. I leave in your trusted hands, my dear friend Henry, this record that begins when I was just a boy.
Go. Get on down. Hurry up. Please, sir. Gas down there. Let's go. Please, sir. No. It's some kind of mistake. I ain't no slave.
Let him go! Harry!
Go back inside. Oh, boy, I dragged you down the river with...
Will! Quiet! He's my friend!
Look away, Adrian. It's not our place. Look away.
My friend here?
He's beating my son.
Did you strike him, Link?
They're not slaves. You know it.
I suggest you get back to your work before you find yourself led away in jail.
Till every man is free, we are all slaves.
Very well, then. Since you're so concerned with freedom, you may consider yourself free from the burden of my employ.
Come on, let's
and
go.
the debt you've been working off, I'd like it paid in full with interest. Now, please.
You get one more penny from me, Mr. Barnes. We'll come with a fist wrapped around it.
All right, Mr. Lincoln. There are other ways to collect the debt.
What's happening to her, Father? Please help her. She's big. We gotta do something, Father.
Still get up.
Easy, child.
Look away, Abraham.
Nobody's like this. It's strange.
You promised me.
Let's step outside.
Sorry. I don't know what else.
Abraham, come and lie next to me. I've been writing, Mama. Days are swift as an Indian arrow, flying like a shooting star. The present day is here, and it slides away in haste that we can never say is ours, but only say is past. Mother? Mother.
Mama once told me that I hadn't cried when I was born. That I'd simply opened my eyes, looked at her smiling face, and smiled back. my light was gone.
I don't know
Abraham.
how people...
You promised me. You promised me you won't go and do anything foolish.
9 years later, my father joined her in death. No longer bound by my promise, I tried to fortify the nerve to pursue my vengeance.
Haven't you had enough? A boy only gets this drunk when he wants to kiss a girl or kill a man.
Adam, let me explain.
Last one, Bartz. I'm not coming up here to clean up your messes anymore.
Yes, sir, I promise. But don't make no words tonight. Still, as every so often, I think I'm gonna be letting you down, sir.
So, where's Henry?
Ah, yes, sir. We've been looking all over, sir. Searching high and low.
Low's more likely. Just find him, Bartz. Oh, and send a fresh crop south. We have a lot of mouths to feed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir.
From my mother.
That was unlucky. Might have put me out of my misery.
Where the hell you running to? No much lactation, chickens. Little boy all grown up, comes to the land to see his mama. There are two kinds of men, Mr. Lincoln. Those that have the guts to pull the trigger, and those who do not. Powder, patch, ball.
Don't mess it up. You weren't asleep that night, were you?
Oh, you dropped the ball, Mr. Lincoln.
Your mama's blood was sickening sweet.
Hope yours tastes better!
Might I suggest that we begin by Closing the door.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't see anything.
We dive right in. Finding Gabriel's egress too distracting. I'm sorry, sir, but who are you? Who I am is Henry Sturgis. Where you are is my home. What happened? I saved your life during your rather pathetic attempt at taking another's.
What were you doing there, and how did you know I'd try to kill Barnes?
How? I watched this boy carry out his first long-awaited mission. Drunk, might I add. And I think you've wasted your time with this one, Henry. He's not a promising recruit. He is just a selfish boy with his heart set on vengeance. And I've realized that this boy is a goddamned idiot! I doubt he even knew his target was a vampire.
A vampire?
Yes, immortal, blood-sucking demons. Fortunately for you, Mr. Lincoln, hunting them is something of a hobby.
Vampires are just myths.
Myths don't beat you senseless after you've put a bullet in their brain. Thank you. No, Mr. Lincoln, vampires are real. They exist in every city and every state. In the Union.
If what you say is true, you could help me kill him. I could pay you to kill him.
My services are not for sale. And the word you are looking for is destroy. It is quite a feat to kill that which is already dead.
You don't understand. My mother was murdered.
And if I teach you how to murder her murderer, so what? How will that honor her memory? How will that benefit the next boy whose mother is taken? If vengeance is all you seek, seek it elsewhere.
Teach me to fight as you do. Please, I'll do anything you say.
You promise to cast aside all notions of vengeance and commit to the life of a hunter? You will have no friends, no family. I will give you names.
I told him what he wanted to hear, but all I cared about was killing the monster that took my mother.
I mean...
Scottish Highland pistol. And if one barrel's not enough, 7 should do you. The blunderbuss. And if you lose your ball, you can always stuff your pocket watch down the end of it. So, Abe, which one takes your fancy?
Actually, I haven't had the best of luck with shooting irons. But, I was a rail splitter.
I'd like you to chop this tree down with a single swing.
That tree? It's gotta be more than a foot across. That's impossible.
But it isn't a tree. It's what you hate most in the world. So tell me, Mr. Lincoln, what do you hate?
I hate Jack Barnes.
Then strike him down. Well, clearly you don't hate him that much. Tell me what you hate.
I hate that my mother was taken away.
Inadequate.
I hate that we were afraid.
And?
That my mother, father, everyone that we knew, lived in fear.
Pathetic.
I hate that I was too small.
Too weak.
Yes.
And that you failed.
Yes!
To protect her.
Yes!
And that you let her die. Power, Lincoln. Real power comes not from hate, but from truth. Before you protect others from darkness, you must first be able to protect yourself. Your enemies have the power to render themselves invisible. You must have the ability to fight blind, to see without seeing. Again.
In the weeks that followed, Henry and endeavored to impart a lifetime of vampire hunting secrets. Their ability to adapt to sunlight, the power to render themselves invisible. But most of all, he taught me how to destroy them.
When Judas betrayed Jesus, his reward was 30 pieces of silver. At that moment, those pieces became a symbol of betraying God, of evil. And silver became a curse upon the cursed. You will never see a vampire with silver on his person. Nor see them reflected in mirrors. The one thing God placed beyond the reach of a vampire. The one thing he can never possess. And the only thing that renders him powerless.
Henry. Jack Bart!
I give you the targets. That was our deal. This is not only about Jack Bart's. Vedoma, a ruthless enforcer. And her brother.
Wait, I've seen him before. I saw him with Jack Bart's.
They call him Adam. He from whom all others are made. Vampires have been in the New World for centuries. Slaughtering native tribes and early settlers. But when the Europeans arrived with their slaves, the dead saw a sinister opportunity. They built an empire in the south, but in recent years they pressed north, leaving death in their wake. It falls to us, Abraham, the hunters, to keep the balance, to ensure that this remains a nation of men, and not monsters. What we do not for one man, but for the good of all mankind.
Henry sent me off into the world with a reminder. No attachments, no distractions, no friends or family. Besides, who could I trust? Anyone in this well-mannered city might very well be one of them.
Son of a bitch! I ever see you here again, I will have your balls as a toy purse! I will get you! I'll get you someday! Good afternoon, sir. Joshua Speed at your service.
Abraham. Lincoln. I need a bit of help.
All right. Well, a friend in need is a friend of Speed. What can I get for you?
I don't suppose you know of any rooms for rent, Mr. Speed.
What sort of room are you looking for, Mr. Lincoln?
A cheap one, as I've spent all of my money on law books and have none to spare at the moment.
Now, as you say you have none, am I to take your meaning as cheap or free of charge?
Well, on credit.
All the same, I don't think you'll find such a room in Springfield. People here are strangely accustomed to being compensated.
Good day.
There is one room, Mr. Lincoln. I was recently forced to part ways with a thieving prick of an associate, and am therefore in need of a replacement. There's a room upstairs. It isn't much, but I suppose it could be had on credit, if the tenant were willing to work here in return.
Dear Henry, life in Springfield is less than desirous. Fear not. My pittance of a salary doesn't allow me to deviate from your rules. No friends, no family. And certainly no woman would find me and my existence enticing.
Excuse me? Excuse me, I'll be needing these.
Just 1 second, ma'am.
Wow. You needn't call me ma'am as if I'm some haggard spinster. I'm trying to be...
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Weekend of my activities.
I mean, miss. I'm Abraham. Lincoln.
Mary Todd.
Darling, there you are. You mustn't flit from store to store so quickly.
Perhaps if you didn't stop to jaw with every gentleman in Springfield.
I could say the same for you. Stephen Douglas, how do you do?
Abraham.
Lincoln. Are you a voting man, Mr. Lincoln? How do you feel about keeping slavery out of Illinois? I'm running for the legislature.
I'm sure he'd love to hear your campaign speech, but Mr. Lincoln was just about to attend to my list.
We were talking, dear. Slavery, it's a complicated issue.
Couldn't disagree with you more, Mr. Douglas.
Mr. Douglas. Miss Todd, you met my new associate, Abraham. A letter came for you. Dear Abe, your prescription awaits you at the local pharmacy. Ask for Aaron Stibble, Jr.
Mr. Lincoln.
I'm so sorry.
Good day, work, Abraham.
Thank you.
don't forget. Always have a contingency plan. Aaron Stibble Jr.
Yes?
Don't worry, it'll only hurt for a second or two. Did you eat today?
I had killed a monster, and I would kill again. But no amount of death could make me forget.
Merciful Christ, Lincoln, what happened to your face?
Where else do we ever work?
Work? To hell with work. We got invited to a ball. Could be your chance to save Mary Todd from a life of boredom. This suit makes me look ridiculous.
Nonsense.
But that hat makes me look ridiculous. Come on. Come on. Look, there she is. Mr. Douglas Joshua Speed. Glad to see you. Mary, you look lovely as usual.
He's still missing.
Who's that?
Aaron Stibble. Junior or senior?
Junior. Oh.
Who is that man?
I don't know.
Sounds like I haven't seen him before.
Mr. Douglas, you know Senator Nolan, of course.
Ah, yes, Stephen. Good to see you.
Have you heard this news?
Ah, yes. Yes, we're looking into it. Rest assured, this kind of lawlessness won't stand in the noble state of Illinois.
It's called a dance. If we were meant to sit alone, they would have called it something else.
Yes, I suppose they would have.
Come, Mr. Lincoln. You'll ruin the upholstery if you sit there any longer.
Inventory untouched, cash box. It's a mystery, though.
I'm sure you're a very nice man, Mr. Lincoln, but you're,
Shopkeeper in a borrowed suit.
No, it's not a matter of means, really, no. Well, I came to Springfield looking for someone different, someone whose life was a bit more adventurous, and well, my apologies, I'm never this
Honest?
rude.
Miss Todd, may I speak candidly? I, too, came here to better myself. That's why I've taken an interest in the law, and why if I may be so bold, I've taken an interest in you. And that's for the adventure that you seek. I suspect that few men could ever hope to provide that for you. Least of all your fiancé, Stephen Douglas.
Mr. Lincoln, you are full of surprises.
Miss Todd, you have no idea.
Dear Abraham, I've made a deposit at the local bank. Be careful. It can quickly disappear.
support and I ever thought possible. Pharmacists, innkeepers, pastors. It's more than a man can bear.
Well, I see I'm such interesting company.
I'm sorry. I've been working nights.
Really? Is that true?
You really want to know the truth, Mary? Each and every night, I go out hunting vampires.
Well, how do you hunt these vampires?
With an axe. A special silver axe. Of course.
Of course. And how many would you reckon you've killed?
5. No. 6. I have killed 6 vampires.
My goodness. I thought you were an honest man, really. Oh, I had a wonderful day, Abe.
As did I, Mary. Miss Todd, you are a woman of ravishing resourcefulness.
Mr. Lincoln, you have no idea.
You have no friends, no family.
I, should be going. It's late. How could I bring her into this world? A world of demons, of danger.
Good night, then, Lincoln.
Good night, Mary.
Happy hunting.
If I truly cared for her, the kindest thing I could do was walk away.
This hunter is another of Henry's disciples.
They say he's a madman.
I can't wait to meet him.
Stock boy reading a law book. What? Studying to be a lawyer?
As a matter of fact, I am.
All right. What about a little test? What's the law for free slaves in the North?
According to the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, enforcing Article 4, Section 2 of the United States Constitution, all runaway slaves must be returned to their owners. However, personal liberty laws state that anyone who is born free cannot be taken under this act.
I heard a good woman once say, until all men are free, we're all slaves.
Will Johnson?
How did you? I was back home. Heard you moved here. Studying to be a lawyer. That's good. I'm in need of a good lawyer.
What, are you in some kind of trouble?
I was freeing slaves down south on the railroad, hoping to find my brother down there. Some bounty hunters got after me. Said I was a runaway. I need a writ, Abe. Saying I was born free.
You know, Will? Come on. Hey. Speed, this is Will Johnson. Will Johnson, my oldest friend in the world.
The store isn't gonna run itself, eh?
I'll have him back as soon as possible, Mr. Speed. I promise. You're getting tall, Abe. Look like you still don't eat much either. You still afraid of the dark, too?
Oh, not so much anymore.
That's him, Abe. That's the guy that's been chasing.
Gentlemen, I'm sure we can work this out.
Now, I suggest you walk away, son.
No, sir. I suggest you do.
I've sent word to Senator Nolan. He'll have you out soon.
You're far too kind, Miss Todd. And he's far too ugly to have a woman like you.
Well, I think common-looking people are the best in the world. That's why the Lord makes so many of them. I just thank God he was there.
But I won't always be there, Mary. What if something was going on, something terrible? And you knew that there was no way on earth that one man could stop it. What would you do?
Well, I wouldn't back away from what's right just because it's hard. My father used to say, plant your feet and stand firm. The only question is where to put your feet.
We may fail in this fight. We may only shatter the tranquil veil of oppression, but we must not be deterred. For ours is a just and noble cause. The cause of freedom, the very cause upon which our founding fathers built this great nation.
Voice like that's too strong to be stuck keeping shop.
I'm actually studying to be a lawyer.
Ah, well, Mr. Lincoln, maybe it's time you thought about politics. I can connect you with the right people.
Thank you, Senator Nolan.
A pleasure, young man.
Same.
You're on your way, Mr. Lincoln.
I sent you to Springfield to hunt vampires, not to chase votes.
Lesson 1, always have a contingency plan. If vampire hunting doesn't pan out, I'll need a career to fall back on.
I'm being serious.
So am I, Henry. I have done everything you've asked of me. Every letter, every name. But never the letter I wait for, and never the name I want most. When do I get to kill Jack Barnes?
Bartz knows about Mary. It's time. Abraham, be careful.
Abraham fucking Lincoln.
Oh, again! Hope you're better with an axe than you were with a gun!
us here. He won't stop till this whole country's ours. And they'll be coming for you now. Ask your friend, Henry.
Shut your mouth, you stupid whore. Give me what I need or I'll knock your teeth out.
You lying son of a bitch. God damn it.
Stop! You weren't ready to know.
What, that you were a vampire?
You are not the only one who has lost everything to vampires.
Just because the carriage stops doesn't mean we have to.
Get in the carriage.
Take this. Run. Just run.
Her soul is pure. But yours, Henry? It's one of God's little tricks. Vampires cannot kill their own kind. Only the living can kill the dead. Welcome to the family.
You can't save the world and the ones you love, Lincoln. You need to make a choice.
I'm sorry. But goodbye.
Mary!
What on earth are you doing?
Come on in.
What are you hiding?
No,
Abe?
it's nothing.
Abe, I know when you're lying. What are you hiding from me?
All right. I didn't want to tell you this way. This is not the way that I planned it. But if you really must know... Mary Todd, will you make me the happiest of men?
And do you, Abraham, promise to love her, comfort her, be honorable and honest with her in all things, in sickness and health, till death do you part?
I do.
Then by the power vested in me by Almighty God and the great state of Illinois, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Your mother would be so proud.
Thank you, Will. I'm happy you could be here. You're the only family I have. Except for this one. Huh? Congratulations. May I introduce Mr. Henry Sturgis, my wife, Mary, and my dear friend, Will Johnson.
Heavens, Mr. Sturgis, you're as chilly as the winter wind.
Henry, please. I'm afraid that's a hazard of carrying one's own bottle.
Well, you know what they say. Cold hands, warm heart.
Yes, well, I highly doubt that.
Mr. Sturgis is a business associate.
Yes, and I thought we could talk a little business.
Oh, of course. Oh, excuse me. What the hell are you doing here?
Be cautious, Abraham. One forgets how easily we can lose the most precious things.
They don't even know who I am.
Go upriver and invite this Mr. Lincoln to join us at the plantation. We're gonna throw a ball in his honor.
What makes you think he'll accept?
I think we can find a way to tempt him.
It's good.
Abe, we've got a problem. They took Will. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna accept his invitation. Speed deserved to know the truth of what we were about to face. I told him everything. Not knowing if he would believe me or think me mad. Not knowing if he would have the courage to face the monsters that I had come to know.
You and me, Abraham, together we can accomplish anything.
There are no slaves. Where are they?
I was just wondering that. Something isn't right about this, Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do this.
Don't worry. I'll teach you.
Wait here.
Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served. Mr. Lincoln. Bravo. Even better than I'd heard. Shame to sacrifice so many of my best men. I needed to know if you're up to the task.
What do you want with me?
To see you liberated. To see you rise up and destroy your oppressor.
That's interesting advice coming from a slave owner.
Men have enslaved each other since they invented gods to forgive them for doing it. I've seen Jews build Egypt's glory. Seen Christians thrown to lions with my own eyes. And I've seen Africans sell their own kind to Europeans. May I share one of the revelations of my 5,000 years? We're all slaves to something. I to eternity, you to your convictions, others to the color of their skin. All I ever wanted was to see my kind granted their rightful place. But there are those of us, those like your friend Henry, who enjoy living in the dark. As you're doubtless aware, I cannot personally destroy him, nor he I. You, Mr. Lincoln, you could eliminate those last pockets of resistance, beginning with Henry Sturgis himself. All I ask is for you to break your chains, kill your master, be free.
And if I refuse?
Then you go on your merry way. After I make you one of us, spoon feed you your friend. Now, simple yes or no will suffice. Kill Henry. Save your friend. Feel free to take your time to decide. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This way. Miss Tubman, we've been waiting for you. Come quickly.
People getting killed every day. Slaves disappearing. Some people talk about monsters and demons.
Good morning. Good morning. How can I assist you on this beautiful day?
We're looking for 3 men.
You know, I did see someone run down that way. You're welcome to come in if you like. My service is about to begin.
I take it y'all came from up north?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I suggest you get back there as fast as you can. There's a war coming. A war for the soul of the country. Gonna be all colors of blood spilled.
Our nation was built on the backs of slaves. Their labor, their blood, more blood than you could possibly imagine. I have seen this horror of the South firsthand.
I say the need for peace outweighs the needs of the blacks. I say that if the people of this great nation want slavery, then let them have it.
The demon of slavery is tearing our country apart. We must stand up. We must stand strong and fight. Fight for the very soul of our nation. Until every man is free, we are all slaves.
You cannot take on slavery, Abraham. You cannot take on the whole South.
Why?
Because of Adam?
No.
Are you afraid of him?
Because it is the only thing that has kept them sated for all these years.
And you take that away, then no one is safe.
So you get to choose who lives and who dies.
A great man once said, what we do not for ourselves, not for one man, but for the good of all mankind.
Not all mankind, Abraham.
have my husband back.
He's all yours, Mrs. Lincoln.
Henry only saw the struggle his way. But I began at last to see it another. To see and to feel the even greater issues at stake. So he and I would go our separate ways. As the Bible says, the time had come for me to put aside childish things. I would fight not with an axe, but with words and ideals. And for a time, they proved a stronger weapon. Through twists of fate, I found myself at 50 years of age, the father of a nation that was tearing itself apart, while trying to be the father to a boy not much older than I was when I lost my mother.
3,000 more dead.
When's the last time you had something to eat?
Not hungry, thank you.
Gotta eat, Abe. You're only human. Come along, Willie.
Willie?
Willie? If you do this, there is no turning back, Abe.
I know. I'm trying to protect the freedom of a nation.
If this war is truly a stand against evil, then let it stand for something. If it is a war for the freedom of man, why not give all men a reason to fight it?
All persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then,
and henceforward shall be free.
Morning.
Precious little one. What's your name?
Lily,
And your father? What's his?
Abraham.
What a beautiful silver sword.
How is our little soldier faring?
I've never seen anything like it. I'm sorry. I don't know what ails your boy.
Abe. Mary's calling for you.
I'm so sorry, Abraham.
Why didn't they take me?
Because they know. It is a fate much worse than death.
Mary. It's inconsolable. She says she doesn't want to go on without it.
There is a way, Abraham. You know that I can restore the dead. Do it. Do it.
Mary.
Do it. Your journal. The one you always kept in your coat pocket. I know I shouldn't have, Abe, but I needed to know what you were hiding. If what you say is true, I beg you. Give us our little boy back.
Mary, he wouldn't be our little boy. He would be something else, something terrible. Trust me, you don't want that.
You're asking me to trust you. After you lied to me for all these years?
I did it to protect you, to protect our family.
And how did that work out? You tricked us, Abe! You tricked us! You brought this on him! You brought this on our boy!
Let me go to them. Make a truce with Adam. We must stop this war. Willie's death is just the beginning.
Don't you dare say his name.
I warned you. You did not heed me. How many more boys will have to die before you listen to me? These boys are dying in vain. We should pull the troops back. Abraham, this war has cost us countless lives, not to mention millions of dollars. I thought we were going to make this country great, not tear it apart.
This is the only way we can save the country now, Speed. Send in troops.
Union troops are flooding onto the field. We are now outnumbered and ill-equipped compared to the North. We will support you. But you will need to support us. No, thank you.
Rest assured, Mr. Davis. You'll have as many of my kind as you need.
First day of Gettysburg. It's been a disaster. I don't think the army can survive another. If the rebels break through, they'll be here in days. The generals think we should evacuate Washington, run the war from New York or Boston if need be.
You have to win this war. If you don't, then all of it. our son's death will have been for nothing.
How can I win a war when I can't even protect my own family? Our men have no way of defending themselves against this enemy. Our bullets are useless, our bayonets are as powerless as this fork. Will? Speed? This is what we need. A fork. Silver.
Okay.
How much do we need? All of it.
And why tell me this, Mr. Speed? Why betray your friend?
He is my friend, but I love this country even more. And he, more than anyone, is responsible for tearing this nation apart.
You've done the right thing.
I know. 2, 33, 34, 35. That is a lot of silver, Abe. Now, how are we gonna get all this there?
I'm sorry, Mary. I'm sorry I've kept you in the dark all these years. I need you, Mary.
I've waited a long time to hear you say those words.
I want you to leave Washington, Mary.
Stubman, please have some tea. Very much appreciate you coming to speak with me today. Oh, yes. Things have not been easy, what with the death of my son and the war. I need to get out of Washington. And I need a lot of help.
This war ends tonight. And with it, our millennia of darkness.
We have to do this on our own. No one can know what's on that train. If we don't get those weapons to those boys at Gettysburg, the war is over.
It's time we had a nation of our own. Come. We have a train to catch.
It's 80 miles from here to Gettysburg. 80 miles will decide whether this nation belongs to the living or the dead.
Everything all right, Speed?
I just can't believe you're still writing in that book.
It's all in here, Speed. The good with the bad.
this?
They're fleeing the nest, leaving Washington free for us.
Look at me. I said, look at me.
Leave her. Don't want to miss this train.
What the hell are you doing here?
I just wanted to see how far your foolishness would take you.
I don't have time to argue.
I didn't come here to argue with you. I came here to tell you that your dear friend Speed back there is a traitor. He betrayed you, Abe. Speed is leading you.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, that's all according to plan. Get off this train.
No, you must get on this train. This is not your war, Henry.
They're here, Abe. A whole heap of them. We can't let them stop this train.
You go through there and you're dead. Get out now, it's your last chance.
You load that thing? We gotta keep them away from the locomotive.
you let him go, Lincoln?
And that's pay yourselves.
I'll never follow you. Oh, you don't have to follow me, Abe. I have the train. I have the silver. Soon I'll have the whole country. I'm gonna destroy the myth of Abraham Lincoln so that history will forever know you not as a man, but as a monster!
Set us up. We've been tricked, Adam. There is no silver on this train.
Hello, Speed. Where's the silver?
Silver? Should be here.
Why did you lie to me?
To get you all in one place. To finish you.
There's nowhere left to run, Lincoln. Where is it? Where's the silver? Right here!
Thank you, Henry.
I suppose Some vampires can be trusted.
As can some men, Abraham. If the train was a decoy, where's the silver?
This isn't the only railroad. A wise man once taught me, always have a contingency plan.
Bayonets, bayonets and Springfield muskets! Springfield muskets! 5 pounders information. Second wagon is back. Go now. Go now.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Our enemies have made their exodus. Some back to Europe, some to South America and the Orient. They've seen that America shall forever be a nation of living men, a nation of free men.
We make rather a good team, you and I. One can't help but think of all the good we could do if we had more time. Limitless time.
Yes, well, time waits for no man.
Hold on to this for me, Henry. Mary, darling, have you seen my hat?
On your desk in the office.
Have you seen my hat?
Abraham, let me make you immortal. Let us fight through the ages side by side.
Vampires are not the only things that live forever.
History prefers legends to men. It prefers nobility to brutality, soaring speeches to quiet deeds. History remembers the battle and forgets the blood. However, history remembers me, if it does at all. It shall only remember a fraction of the truth.
guy only gets that drunk when he wants to kiss a girl or kill a man. So which is it?